Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
We're back. This has been a weird playthrough.
Yes, it's mostly been singing so far.
I
And talking
feel
about
like shit.
dentists.
Nothing to talk about because my life is empty.
Yeah, let's talk about how we were Simulsick.
Yeah, we were both sick at the same time. That's what that was.
Here's what we can do, Victor. Let's try to get to the bottom of this. What the fuck did we do the night before?
That's a good point. Like, I don't know how we got sick, but we both got sick at the same time.
It was like because you said, like I had been up all night and I got sick overnight, and I had at the time because I got drunk that night. So like as I was getting drunk, I started feeling sick, but it was like 4 a.m, right? And also I cleaned my bathroom. So I had thought maybe I got sick while cleaning my bathroom while being drunk, like having a weakened immune system. But
Jesus Christ.
But then I come downstairs at like 8 a.m. or whatever, however late, probably later than that. But I come downstairs fairly early in the morning, and you're sick, and you're like, I started feeling sick right before I went to bed at 4 a.m. last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started feeling sick at 4 a.m. last night. So, like, obviously we both got sick at the same time.
Did we go eat somewhere?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did we eat before that?
Shit.
Like,
We
I
were
can't
hanging
believe
out
we
earlier in the night.
we didn't try to question this right when it happened.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a couple times that we need to talk about it and try to figure it out.
Where did we go?
I don't know. Like, I think we were hanging out, but I don't know if we went out to eat or if we just went to Wawa or something. Like,
We probably got some shit food, man.
but where would we have gone? Because I don't remember going anywhere.
I don't know. Shay didn't get sick, so it wouldn't have been dinner at home.
No. It was like we probably had done something like around midnight. Like, we probably went to go eat or something like that. And then later that night, we both got sick.
Did you go for a walk at all that night?
No.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
What the fuck would I get sick from on a walk?
I don't know. Just like
It's not even humans.
it's cold and you're like you're weak.
But we clearly both got sick from something, because it couldn't have been from each other.
Yeah.
Because one of us would have had to be sick first. But we both got sick at like the same hour of night. Like, both of us reported the next day having felt sick at 4 a.m. the night before. And then when we were both sick for a few days, you had it worse at first, and then I had it worse, and mine lasted longer.
Yeah.
So it was miserable. Which is why we didn't record any Digi Bros, because we were super sick, and we didn't want to talk, we didn't want to live and
Super
do
sick me.
I kept going into Victor's room, and he'd just be like, fuck off.
And I watched a shitload of documentaries and stand-up comedy specials. That's how I spent my sickness.
I gotta know in what manner you kicked out Mike.
What?
Because there was a day
Oh no.
that me and Shade were coming over, or coming home. Like, we had gone out to do something, and we came back and we see Mike leaving, and we were like, oh, he must have come in, and Victor must have gone, get the fuck out, and Mike immediately left.
He literally opens the door, and I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, feeling like shit, and I look up, kind of in a daze, and I see him, and I just went, no, go away, and he just immediately leaves. He was like, I said, go away, I'm sick.
As soon as he heard sick, he would have left. Like, I know Mike, even if you hadn't told him to go away. And I was
like, was that the wrong, did I feel like an asshole?
If you had said, I'm sick, he would have been like, well, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because Mike is very particular about that kind of shit. But,
does not want to get sick.
it was pretty funny that we saw him leaving.
Yeah.
And, I did what I always do. I rolled down the window and I yelled, Nagger! And,
oh, shit, I went back to the beginning. Motherfucker.
Yeah, you did.
That's fine, I already killed everything. Noodle-doo, boop.
So yeah, we were sick. It sucked. I had a huge headache. Didn't want to do anything. I edited some AMVs. Did you ever watch my second AMV?
No? Which one? What?
The animators things.
Oh, yeah.
You watched both of them?
Yeah.
The one with the Akira?
Yeah.
What did you think of that
I zoned out at some point and stopped watching it, but it was neat.
Because the first one I did, you complained about the music.
Yes.
You said it sounded
I think
like...
the second one had better music.
You said it sounded like stock music.
Yes.
Even though it was Blank Banshee, and every other comment on the video was talking about how great the music choice was.
Yeah.
And you were complaining about it. So with the second one, I was like, I wonder what Victor will think of this music, because it's definitely shit you'd never heard before. So I was really curious as to what the
Looked like that wall bled.
Yeah, it did. It
That's
looked
weird
like
as shit.
bled.
Where the fuck am I going?
Just go up. Keep going. Go that way. Go up there.
That's where I dropped down from.
No, you fucked up when you dropped down.
I couldn't go anywhere from up there.
Go,
I hear some guys.
I'm trying to remember. There's a door in here somewhere that you need to go through. But I don't remember where.
Do. Anyways, what were you talking about?
Guys, they got the shards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking you if that video was good, if you watched it.
Neat, yeah.
I guess you did.
Alright.
Yeah, all the music was from like the Ghost in the Shell.
Go
Don't go
up.
down there.
I'm going back up. I'm trying to go back up to the top.
You could have got back up from where you were though.
Motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. You keep doing this like
I didn't think I could
lunging
get back
strike.
up there from down there.
Stop doing that. It makes it hard to think.
True.
Yeah. What the fuck? We were sick. I guess that's all we did was be sick.
Yeah. So there
It was
wasn't
not the
anything
most
to do.
exciting week and a half.
And I can't remember the week before.
I don't know anything. I don't know
AIDS
anything.
video.
You go up there. AIDS video.
Yeah.
What's that? You got
Uh,
AIDS?
I'm helping like
Well, that was helpful.
yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. So
You should have ran along the railing.
what?
There's like one stick that stays
Oh,
up there
I
that you
see.
can run across. And you gotta get back up.
Anyways, there's a theater group doing like a AIDS awareness campaign thing, so I'm doing a video for them, doing a bunch of interviews. It's not work I prefer, but it's neat.
Victor doesn't care
Talking about
about
stigmas
AIDS
of
people.
AIDS. No, I just don't enjoy doing interviews. What was interesting, talking about this one guy who's talking about his boyfriend has AIDS, and like it's the kind of thing where these days the technology and medications have progressed enough that you can live with it perfectly fine and like, you know, live a fulfilling life and not die and not like fuck up the people around you, but like it's still in the gay community treated as like everyone's afraid of it and everyone kind of treats people who have AIDS like shit, and like on like their dating websites like Grindr and shit, like you have to label yourself as like clean or not clean if you have AIDS, and so everyone just kind of treats these people like
Alright, just
they're
go back through again.
like they're dirty and like unclean, and so they're trying to like erase that because it's like the gay community is supposed to be so welcoming and like
Right.
you know, friendly, and then they're treating each other like shit, you know, when they have AIDS.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem. And this guy, he's certainly struggling with it with his boyfriend who had AIDS, and he's like, you know, he's afraid to tell his family and stuff.
I'm curious as to why his boyfriend is on Grindr.
It's boy... What?
Like they're dating.
I didn't say his
Why are they
boyfriend was
still
on
on it?
Grindr. I said people on Grindr have to label themselves like that.
Right.
Maybe they've been on Grindr. I don't fucking know.
Hit me on Grindr so I know where to find you. Feeling like sex with a twist of the ganja.
It's interesting, though. It's interesting to learn about that community.
Yeah. All of my knowledge of the gay community comes from Cakes to Killa.
And going to a Lady Gaga concert.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
That was
If you ever
great.
go to, like, gay-centered events, they're fucking rad. Like, the Lady Gaga concert was awesome.
Was it only me, or was it you also who just didn't see it coming at all? Or was
I
that
just,
me?
you know, hadn't...
Also,
like, it
stop
made
using a
sense,
lunging strike.
but, yeah.
Just use a regular... there you go. It's still not hitting it. Use the heavy strike.
That was... The lunge is a heavy strike.
Oh, well, use a two-hand.
I can't hurt him. Anyways, it wasn't surprising. But, like, I also went to, like, this, when gay marriage became, like, officially legal, there was this, gay block party thing that, I did for that Aloha thing, and it was, like, awesome. The atmosphere was awesome. Like, everyone was so happy. You're like, man, this is sweet.
Hey,
Like,
go
it is
back-
a
go back
very
down there.
great
There was a man back
vibe
there.
in those kinds of things.
To the left.
I don't want to fight the lizards.
You already
I
killed
don't-
it.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, like, I talked about this in a video I did on my main channel way back that probably no one remembers, called, like, 2 nights, 2 shows, 2 crowds, or something like that, about, like, having gone to Lady Gaga and, I think, like, a Portugal the Man show, like,
Yeah.
back to back, and, Yeah, it was just amazing because we went to Lady Gaga. I had not thought at all about what the audience would be like.
Yeah.
And it was like all very flamboyantly dressed gay men. Like all in like costumes or other.
And there were
just,
women
like, weird
and there were
outfits.
a lot of trans people.
Yeah. But it was just like we were the straightest guys there.
There were definitely not any straight guys
the
there.
sentence, me and Victor were the straightest guys there, isn't a sentence you could use about a lot of events. You know?
Certainly.
Like, how often are we the straightest guys in a room? You know?
I don't feel like we're super, you know, we're not like macho, you know?
No.
We aren't like bros.
Exactly.
We're not the straightest guys.
So it was pretty interesting to be at a show where we were the straightest guys there, you know, in the pit and everything. And it was a fucking awesome show. And then like with like Portugal the Man, it's just like people, like no, you're just like straight laced.
They all looked pretty lame. Like most of the people there looked lame, and I was like, oh, this is Portugal the Man's crowd.
Well, it's just kind of like they've gotten kind of bigger, so it's just like people, just normal people, like whoever listens to Portugal the Man, you know.
They mostly seem, you know, college-age hipster types, and like it's generally college-y crowd, but they didn't really look like the sort of like obscure hipsters, you know.
No.
They were just like normal college students.
The weirdest thing for me is going to like anything that's not a metal show, just because we grew up going to metal shows.
And you're just like, wait a minute, what's all these colors everywhere?
Yeah,
like,
I'm used to everyone wears black, everyone's wearing a band t-shirt for a band that's...
all these huge dudes with beards and shit.
Yeah, lots of giant dudes. Everyone's got either a beard or long hair, or they're bald, or they're like jacked.
Or they're just drunk.
Or they're on drugs or something, or the women are all in like gothy, dressed up clothes, you know? And so, like, I'm so used to that. Let me tell you, the most jarring concert experience was when Dad got tickets to Coldplay.
Coldplay!
My dad likes Coldplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Coldplay.
They do.
They're pretty,
Trevor likes a Coldplay album.
Uh-huh.
A Coldplay.
They have a song that plays at weddings that's not the worst wedding song.
Which song?
I don't remember how it goes.
And it was yellow.
No, it's not anything like that. They don't sound anything like that anymore.
No, now they're like a weird pop band.
Yeah. They're one of those that will always change with whatever the new sound is, you know?
Right.
Like Fall Out Boy.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's like modern Fall Out Boy sounds absolutely nothing like old Fall Out. It's just, how the fuck is it the same band?
Right.
It's incredible.
But, no.
Very trippy.
What was I saying? Right, Coldplay show. Dad got tickets to Coldplay, which, by the way, were like... I don't think he paid for them. I think he got them for free. But these were tickets that were selling for like $120, right?
Yeah.
This was an extravagant show.
Yeah.
Like, they had all kinds of shit out on the stage. They had all kinds of crazy things that they were doing. And it was like... It was a cool show for that reason. Like, in terms of putting on a show, it was great. The music is fucking lame. And the people there... This is why it was so weird. It was all, like... family people. Like, not necessarily whole families.
Family people.
But it was all dads and moms.
I see.
Like, clearly... like
adults.
Mom and dad couples in their late 30s, early 40s. Everyone was wearing like polo shirts. Like colored polo. Like everyone's wearing like blue or yellow or red or like colors.
Yeah.
And they're all like older. Like
So it's the kind of people who could afford the $150 ticket.
Yeah. All white people. All like sort of rich look like they all looked like they would be at the golf course earlier that day, you know, like but not like all dudes or anything like that. You know, you think golf course, think a bunch of guys. Like it was, you know, like guys with their wives, families, you know, everyone's smiling. That was another thing. Everyone was smiling.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it was weird. And
it's funny that we're not used to that because of metal shows and no one's smiling.
And it was a very brightly...
Everyone just kind of looks like they're there.
It was very brightly lit, because they had, like, it was at the amphitheater. There's, like, lots of light. There's lots of, you know, like, they did crazy stuff, like shooting confetti over the audience and shit, and, like, they would play parts of their songs out in the crowd and stuff like that. So it was, like, a very interactive sort of show, but it was, like... I've never been to a show with this kind of crowd before. Like, the most extravagant show I'd been to before that was Slipknot doing, like, Lunatic Luau, where they have, like, 9 dudes in jumpsuits screaming on stage with 2 guys on rising and falling drums that are, like, going ape shit, and fucking the crowd is losing their minds. They're running through the crowd, jumping off of speakers and shit, and everyone's headbanging, and you can never see, no one's smiling, you can't see anyone's face, their hair is blocking their face because they're headbanging, and, yeah.
Pretty cool.
And I'll also say that metal shows are the only, for a long time, the only place I could find people who looked like me were at metal shows, and there were always people who looked exactly like me. I distinctly remember the most I ever felt like, oh my god, I am I am a clone, is, because think about it, Vic, when you were in high school, who looked like me, at our school?
Well, yeah, at our school,
whoever, right? Well, because I had the long hair that was always in, a ponytail, it was all wavy and long, that went all the way down to my
The only person who looked like us
ass.
was Mike.
Right.
Who looked exactly like us.
Mike didn't have any facial hair. He looked like you.
He looked like me.
I had, scraggly facial hair and everything, and I was, kind of, on the fat side, a little bit. Just, not really, but, just, not, skinny.
Chubby.
Right.
Little
chubby.
Curvy.
Got a little, shitty facial hair, got the long hair and everything. And I remember we were at the show where it was Wolves in the Throne Room in Crowless. You remember that, right? Up in D.C.?
Nope.
I think
I don't think I went there.
You know what? It might have just been me and Boyd. Yeah, well, me and Boyd went to see Wolves in the Throne Room with Crowless, which is, black metal bands. Both atmospheric black metal bands. At a time when, that genre was just coming into existence. The whole, Agaloch-inspired sound of, that's hipster black metal, as it's called now.
Let's see.
That's where it first was taking off. It was Krallice had 1 album out and Wolves in the Throne Room had 2. So it was they're fairly new. There's a decent little crowd, this kind of a divey place, but the guy who's standing right in front of me, just slightly to the right, looks exactly like me. Same height. I'm a fairly short guy. I'm 5'8.5", right?
Yeah.
So this guy's the exact same height as me. He's got the long hair. He's a little bit curlier, maybe. He's got the scraggly facial hair. He was just me. And I was like...
He is me.
But I was like, of course. Because, what else would someone who looks just like me be doing other than an incredibly specific interest black metal show,
Yes. Motherfucker.
But it's just funny because, I don't, I guess to some extent, I had long hair to look like a rock star because, our mom encouraged that because she was into rock and, the rock look. Our mom is the type who gets dolled up for concerts. She dresses all gothy. She puts on the makeup. She does her hair,
Yes.
She tries to look the part. She wants to look like she's at a metal show. I never really tried to do that. It just happened that I had long hair and I had black shirts.
We were both very, which is something that I always end up fucking defending myself for, which is my image in high school, because I was the long-haired guy in a trench coat, but it was, for us, it was always just kind of we ended up that way, and it was never
it seemed
trying
natural.
to be super, it was just natural.
It was not a part of trying to go against the grain.
Trevor had found this hilarious picture of me at the first Otakon, and I'm wearing, fucking trip shorts, and then, this fucking,
that thing's trying to trap you. There's a million
giant button-up shirt, and, a black beanie, and I look like a fucking dweeb. I look stupid as hell. But then I went on to say, I know the origin of all those clothes, and it was always, a hand-me-down from someone, it was just this hodgepodge of shit that I assembled. It was the same with the trench coats in high school, where it was, the black one I had got from Dad's Hellraiser Halloween costume. So it's it's not like I went out of my way to get this shit. I just kind of saw it, and then it was cool, and then I was I didn't give a shit about how I looked in...
Right.
And so it was just fuck it, I'll wear a trench coat. Fuck yeah.
I always had band t-shirts, because I got t-shirts for bands I listened to, and I wore pajamas because they were comfortable, and I had long hair because I grew up with long hair, and that felt natural to me. But, that's the thing. Like, if you go to metal shows, it's mostly people who are, like, dressed the part. But at something like a hipster black metal show, it ain't the same crowd.
Shit.
It's not the people like Mom who are going to be listening to fucking Wolves in the Throne Room and Krallis, you know?
Yeah.
It's the people who are like me, who are like the guy who spends all his time on the... Because no one's heard of them unless you're on the internet. You could not have heard of Wolves in the Throne Room by, like... They've never been on the radio. They've never been played anywhere, you know? Like, maybe if you followed the fucking record label they were on, you know? But, like, you probably heard about them because of the internet. You probably torrented their albums, you know? So, like, the kind of person who's going to be there is going to be the kind of person who lives like me and has my lifestyle. So it was just, like... such an eye-opening, like, oh, there's people like me, and of course I'd meet them here. Where else would they be, you know? Sort of similarly, the Boris show. Not so much that people looked like us, but that you could tell everyone there was really into Boris. Like, which is my favorite.
They knew what they were getting into.
Like, right.
Everyone looked like, fuck, yeah. Are you guys
like,
into this? Of course.
The worst crowd, maybe you'll agree with me, maybe not.
I think it's Coheed and Cambria.
Well, that was the worst, like, overall, like, I hated the crowd because...
They were fucking
It was mostly because
annoying.
there was a few drunk people who were fucking
And they did
up
that
for
fucking,
everybody.
that thing
they were
where
trying to push to the front.
They pushed the whole crowd, and then,
Yeah.
that's so annoying.
It was that concert sucked largely because of the crowd.
The crowd sucked ass.
But in terms of, like, the worst, like, fit for the show crowd is always Opeth.
Yeah.
Opeth crowds
on rants about this,
suck.
buddy.
Because everyone goes there thinking it's a metal show, and it's not really a metal show, you know? Like, you can thrash through their heavy parts, and you might want to, but everyone gets drunk, and everyone bitches when they start playing the mellow music, and people talk over it, and no one fucking wants to listen to it, you know?
Yeah.
But at Boris, everyone there was into Boris. They all came, because the concert wasn't just Boris, it was Boris Plays Flood. That was on the ticket, you know? It was not just, like, you couldn't have gone there thinking you were going to hear their fucking,
Heavy Rocks
the Pink
and
album,
shit.
you know, or fucking, Heavy Rocks, like you said. I just thought you meant the musical style, but you actually meant the album.
The album, Heavy Rocks.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to hear that shit. It was going to be Boris Plays Flood. Everyone there clearly had heard the album Flood before, you know?
Everyone was ready to stand there with their PBRs and zone out.
Yes. And
I remember seeing a lot of PBRs at that concert.
It was magnificent. Everyone seemed so in tune with the music. Everyone was like...
Tolentino actually has posted on Tumblr that he fell asleep at that show and no one noticed. He fell asleep standing up during Boris, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I probably almost fell asleep too, because he just zoned out. Like,
I did have my eyes closed for a lot of it, but it was transcendent.
Yes, it was very cool.
I forgot we had Tolentino with us. He probably had not heard Flood before. Maybe he had heard it once.
I remember him saying that he did, but he could have just been lying.
Right.
He could have been completely posing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he, like... Brandon is the type who will listen to an album once and be like, yeah, I've heard it, like...
Because, I mean, he came all the way to DC with us for that show, so I imagine he was a fan of Boris, but then, like, I've never heard him being a fan of Boris any other time.
Well, I feel like there was a time when Brandon was more into experimental music, and I think part of it was that he wanted to be into more... Or it could just be because he was on a lot more drugs back then, but, like...
Yeah.
He would, you know, when I first met Brandon... I had the impression he listened to everything. Like, he always was talking about, like, weird shit, different genres. He knew all these, like, weird bands. And then over time, all he listens to is, like, jingle music now. Like, jangly rock music.
He'll get into his car and it'll be, like, some weird
or
obscure
90s
song. Or,
he loves playing ironic 90s songs.
Yes.
And I actually asked him one time, I said, like, how much of your music consumption do you think is, like, ironic? And he said, I think half.
Definitely.
Like, half of everything he listens to is 90s
I feel like a lot of the
music.
shit is just stuff he wants to put in the car while other people are there to make them go, like, what the fuck are you listening to?
Well, like, half the time it's, like Sugar Ray or some shit, you know, like, some...
Dude, that shit's great.
What's the one that he was playing, like, all the time just to fuck with us?
I don't know.
He'll play shit like, you know... Ah, damn it, I can't think of the name. Alright, whatever. Next time on Digi Bros. We've been in this place for a while.
Oh, man.